Hey everybody! I am back with another video, and the video for today we are going to be talking about tutors in Commander and why you need to play more of them. So, as part of my advice thing, I'm going to keep, for some of these next couple of videos, I'm going to spotlight a website that you should be checking out and using while building Magic the Gathering decks. So today's website is gatherer.wizards.com pages/default.aspx. And that brings you up to the simple and advanced search options. So what we want to do is actually go over to the advanced. We want to, because we're talking about tutor cards. Tutor cards, of course, are cards that you search your deck for any card or any type of card. So we're looking for search your library in the text. We don't want lands because lands are just going to give us fetches in this list. So we want to say not lands. Search your library. It's not a land because if it says, if it has the type land, then it will be like, oh. So then it's just be a fetch land. And fetch lands are a completely different thing. That is going to be covered under mana bases and mana fixing and everything like that. So with our search criteria in, let's look at our tutors. And I'm going to go down through the list they're going to give me in a minute. And just kind of be like, what do I think about the different tutors? I wish that this would actually pop out and make them bigger. So first up, we have Aux Hong Run, which is from the unset, which we're going to skip over. It's a cool thing. I'm thinking about putting one of these in the cube just to be another version of Show and Tell and Sneak Attack. But yeah, we're going to move on. Alright, Aberrant Researcher. Actually, let's open link a new page. Look at the big picture. Alright. Alright, this one, yeah, this is one of those ones that's like top card library and a sorcery transform. Yeah, this is a trap. Never mind, going along. Alright, this is cycling. Alright, Academy Rector. When Academy Rector dies, okay, we'll bring this one up. Open link a new tab. Alright, Academy Rector. Oh, 3 and a white, creature type human cleric. Whenever it dies, you may exile it. If you do, search your library for an enchantment card, put that card into the battlefield. This is a card you're going to want, this is your enchantment search. It only works when it dies, so it's not as good, but because it puts it right directly into play, that bumps it up. So, yeah, if I had the cash, I'd buy one of these for my Curses deck. And if you're using any sort of key enchantments and you're in white, then you want to have that tutor. Alright, acquire, search opponent's library for an artifact card and put that card onto the battlefield under your control. Then that player shuffles their library. This is good. If you know your opponent has a key, artifact that you're like, no, I don't want them to have that. You can have an acquire in your deck to sit there and shut down and take out your opponent's key artifacts. If you're playing with the sideboard rule, this becomes a little bit better because sometimes you're just like, what if the... some commander decks, they only run a Signet, a Soul Ring, and maybe a Mana Vault. Maybe if you're playing with some people that got some bigger budgets, Mana Crypt. So you can probably steal... yeah, you can probably main deck that and steal any really good artifact ramp. Alright, Aether Searcher. This is only good in draft. There's one of these in my cube. It's kind of a whole weird thing because it's the whole thing. It's the next card that you draft. You get to search and play it for free. But I I wish that they would have made that so it could have been one of those ones where it's like you turn it face, you can reveal a card and turn it face down, and then turn this face down to have it be combo-y. So it's not very reliable. Still, it's kind of cool in the cube. It's kind of fun. You can just take the next best card you see after you see this. But again, we're talking Commander, but I figured seeing how I talked about cube last time, I'd hit on it a little bit. Alright, and guys, just another ramp spell. This, oh, the traps. The traps are strong. All of these intro deck search for keyword specific. It's not any Ajani, it has to be Ajani Valiant Protector. Still, if you're on a budget and you're green, white, and you want some fog effects, it's okay. It's not competitive, it's casual fun, but, it's kind of cool. Alpine Guides is just another ramp card. Yeah, I should have gone back and said no lands in the text. My own mistake. Altar a Bone. Sacrifice a creature, green and white, sacrifice a creature, search your library for your creature, put that in your hand. Good ramp. Just, you sack the creature, you go get what you need, you drop it down. Especially in green-white with a lot of tokens, that could be very key. With a good ramp, you'll be able to cast this, get rid of a token creature, and then search your library for that Craterhoof Behemoth and just swing. Or some other Craterhoof Behemoth would be a good target to do with this. Elish Norn would be good to do with this, so you can get Elish Norn, drop her down. Of course, you're in a ramp deck, so you're probably going to be able to pay 2 and then be able to pay 8 or 7 more mana just to get your finisher out. Alright, the Rebel Searchers. There was a whole big thing back in... This doesn't help me out because these are when they were... Like, it was printed in Time Spiral, but I think it was Torment or Judgment or Onslaught. One of those sets had a rebel theme to it. So if you wanted to play a Rebel deck, having a bunch of these Rebel tutors to be able to go get different Rebels out of your deck, or different shapeshifters to fill in that rebel slot, it would be kind of cool. Of course, you could play some other cards that let you swap the creature types in game text, and you could turn that Rebel into any other creature. So if you had something that could turn Rebels, Rebels into slivers, that might actually be a cool kind of thing to do, because you can go get some 3-drops. Alright, another basic land cycler, just to be able to fix your mana. Blue creature search. Oh yeah, specifically named Imperial Angel, and put it onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. I mean, if you're not playing Imperial Angel as your commander, this lets you go get it out. But, in Commander, you're kind of like, that Imperial Angel is legendary. It's already going to be in the command zone. But, yeah. Destroy target creature. Search your library. Another one of the search for key specific planeswalker. These cards, like the removal ones, they're bad because they don't want to be too good, because they don't want to make them be format staples. But if you actually built that deck around that planeswalker and you wanted to be able to get it, yeah. Ooh, this one's actually good because Arachnos Web is kind of it's a bit like, it's a tap down effect where you can basically take care of neutralize a creature. So this one's kind of better. In a Spider Tribal deck, you'll probably want to play that. Oh, Archmage Ascension. This is awesome. If you're playing a blue deck, and if you got a way to constantly draw multiple cards, even during your opponent's turn, this card gets out of hand. If you got ways to proliferate and put counters on it, you end up basically being like, oh, I'm going to draw some cards, and instead of drawing the cards, you're just tutoring them right up. I'm surprised I forgot about this card. It's one of the reasons why I like to go back through and go through the gatherer list and just be like, okay, what am I looking for in this color? What am I looking for this effect? Oh man, this in my Nekuzar commander deck would be totally busted, because that deck I'm always drawing 2 cards a turn. I'm usually drawing. If there's ways where I can draw a card, I can find ways to draw cards during my opponent's turn, especially with Consecrated Sphinx. I mean, that ends up being that I draw 2 cards during my turn after playing this. Then my opponent's turn, and I'd have 3 opponents, so I get counter on my turn, counter on other opponent's turn, on the 3 counters from my opponents. It comes back to me, I'd have 5 counters on it. Then I just need 1 more counter from one of my other opponent's turns. And then after that, I'm just kind of like, oh, you drew a card, okay. Opponent 1 draws their card. I draw from Conundrum Sphinx, put a last counter on it, and then opponent number 2 and 3, when they draw their cards for turn, I'm automatically just going, all right, I'm going to get the 2 cards I want out of my deck from you drawing a card. I'm going to get the 2 cards I want out of my deck from you drawing a card. This could be kind of busted. I'd really love to see. I'd love to see somebody try to bust this in a Nekuzar deck, in just a blue-white control deck. All right, Arena Rector. Next up, this is actually a lot like the first one we looked at, where it's a 4-drop human cleric. When it dies, you exile. You search your library for planeswalker card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Getting an enchantment that has an effect that either happens immediately when it comes in, or it's a static effect that's always inactive is great. The problem with the Arena Rector is you can get the Planeswalker out, but in order to get value out of that, you got to have some way of being able to activate its abilities on an opponent's turn, or you need to sacrifice the Rector during your turn. That way you can get the Planeswalker out and use the abilities right then. Millisphere is going to be a ramp. Artifact Fusion. Discard an artifact card. Search your library. This could help you. This is really nice. This is a nice enchantment. It lets you go in, get your Moxes, your Mana Crypts, your Mana Vaults, your different one-drop Mana Rocks, get your Soul Ring. This is kind of cool. Plus, if you're in an artifact-heavy deck, and it's like, oh, I don't need this artifact, but I need this one-drop utility artifact, or ramp artifact, definitely a card to get. Ashiok Dreamrender is the anti-tutor card. So you get this out, and then your spells and abilities your opponent's control can't cause their controller to search their library. You drop this down, and basically you get to shut off everybody's tutor cards for the for as long as this stays out. If you're playing, if you're playing a dedicated mill deck, it's kind of nice because you can get like 5 uses out of it. Where you're like, okay, I put the top 4 cards in your library in your graveyard. You can do that. You can kind of mill, then you exile your opponent's graveyard. So if they got a graveyard shenanigan deck, you can throw more of their cards in and then get rid of it. It's a good utility thing. I would see if you got a lot of people that are playing graveyard shenanigan decks, you're being in a more competitive thing where you know somebody's going to be tutoring a lot, having an Ashiok Dreams Render in your 99, definitely something to have. Assembly Hall, that, okay, a lot of people would say this would actually be junk in Commander, but we actually have 3 cards, actually we have 4 cards that actually work with this. We have Shadowborn Apostle, which is 1-drop black human cleric that lets you sacrifice 6 of them in order to search your deck for any demon and put that into play. We're going to be seeing a demon that you go get with those in a minute. Well, you know, it's a little spoiler. Also, those Shadowborn Apostles are going to be on this list. Pack Rat, not Pack Rat. Rat Colony, Relentless Rats. Both of those say are black rats that say you can have any number of rats of those rats in your deck. Both of them get more powerful with the more copies you have in play. So I would see this as being like the assembly hall. It's like, okay, I'll pay 4. At the end of your turn, I'll pay 4. I'll show you I've got 1, but I'll go get another one. A little extra card advantage in those decks. So the Shadowborn Apostle deck, you really want to like get a critical mass of Shadowborn Apostles out. The Rat deck, it's just draws you an extra rat every for 4 mana. The 7 Dwarves deck, I haven't really seen 7 Dwarves being a thing, but there is the 7 Dwarves is a red spell. You just get it, and you get to have 7 Dwarves. Tune with Aether is a ramp card. Aura card that can enchant it. It's still on the battlefield. But okay, Aura Touch Mage. This is a cool thing. If you're playing like a Boggles, Auras, Enchant deck in Commander, and you want to just, make... It's called the Voltron deck. It's where you basically have one thing that you slap a bunch of stuff onto it, makes it bigger, powerful, and you kill your opponent with. Aura Touch Mage would be kind of one of those cool things of like, it's a creature, lets you go get something really nasty, you can put it onto it, be able to do some stuff. Ornos Hordes is one of those things that lets you go and search up for more of its creature type and put it into play. Pretty cool. Alright, this one's not going to be good in Commander because it just lets you get another one. Doesn't let you have multiple copies, so... The battlefield must search your library for any number of cards, name, Bastion, Foot Soldier. Another one, like, it's got the Apex, it's got the Squadron Hawk ability where you can just like, oh, I'll go get some more. Again, you can't, if it said deck can have any number of copies, then it would be good. Beanstalk Giant's only here because of its adventure side, which is land ramp. Godsire, again, if you're playing a Godsire deck in Commander, Godsire would be your commander. You really want to have this. Unless you got this in play and then somebody's like, oh, I'll just kill your Godsire. You're like, okay, I'll let it go into my graveyard. And I'll bring it. Oh, yeah, there is a corner case for that. Yeah, these ones will let you, get it back after somebody's like, I'll kill your commander. You're like, or you're like, oh, I'll put your commander back. I'll shuffle. Make your commander go back into your deck, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll just let it go into my deck instead of the command zone. I'll just bring it back. All right. Behold the Beyond. Discard your hand. Search your library for 3 cards. Put the card in your hand. Then shuffle your library. For 7 mana, being able to tutor up any 3 cards. I mean, the effect is powerful. The cost is kind of up there, but if you're playing casually, it's okay. Beseech the Queen is something I would much rather be playing. Cost hybrid mana, either 2 and a black, 2 colorless or black, for each of these pips. So you can cast it for 6 of any color, just 3 black, 2 of any color and 2 black, 4 of any color and 1 black. It all depends on what you have for mana available at the time. Beseech the Queen is a powerful, powerful, powerful card. Search your library for a card with converted mana cost equal to less than the number of lands you control. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. So you're casting it in a mono black deck on turn 3. You got 3 lands out. You can get a 3-drop or less. If you're way up there late in the game, you can get some really nasty big stuff. So it's kind of cool. Bifurcate. This is kind of cool. Green tutors are kind of weird. Like, if you know that you've got like some of the I feel like this is a mana rock tutor. It's kind of weird that green's gonna go get an artifact, but you're like, oh, I have a copy of that in my deck. I want to go get that as well. So you could be like, oh, I'm playing against another green deck. That's a really good green creature. I'm playing that green creature too. I'm going to go get it. Or I'm playing that enchantment. Or I'm playing that artifact. Or, I'm playing that cool key land. I'm going to go get my copy. So this is kind of cool. This This is more like meta dependent. Like if you know that you and some of the people you play with, your friends, play pretty much kind of a very consistent, almost the same kind of like key staple cards that are really good in both your deck and their deck, and if they get theirs out first, you just get to pay 4 mana and get your copy. So, Birthing Pod. Oh, Pod. There are so many shenanigans you can do with a Birthing Pod. Being able to basically sack a creature that upgrade it to something that's 1 mana cost higher. You can go up Birthing Pod chains. You can combo it where you have creatures that have Undying or Persist, that they come back from the graveyard after you sacrifice them. Some cards that just have a mana cost you can pay and get them back. Instead of being like, if your opponent is playing a deck where it's like, if your opponents know you as playing a Reanimator deck, and they're like, okay, we're gonna get some graveyard hate. Birthing Pod lets you play a Reanimator style deck, but not be a Reanimator deck, as long as you have 1-drop creature. You have creatures up. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, 4 drop, 5 drop, 6 drop, 7 drop, 8 drop, 9 drop, 10 drop, to be able to go and constantly keep moving the mana cost up 1. So if you build the Birthing Pod as a backup to your, knowing that everybody's hating on you and really ruining your graveyard, you're good. Bitterheart Witch. Oh, I love this. This is my girl. This is my girl. Everybody knows that I love my curse deck. My curse deck is amazingly fun to play. Everybody hates playing against it. It's designed where basically I just slap a ton of curses on one player, and then I use a mass art and enchantment return from my graveyard, and I just I replenish, or I open the vaults, or if somebody if somebody destroys all of my enchantments, I've got the cards. Let me bring everything that's gone in my graveyard this turn back into play. So I can play these kind of shenanigans where it's like, oh, my curses went to the graveyard. Okay, I'm going to bring all my curses back, slap them on you, and call it good. So anytime that I can go and I can tutor up for a specific curse, put it on my opponent for free, I want that card. More Rebels. I covered Rebels before. Bloodspeaker, if you're playing a demon deck, this lets you kind of do the whole thing of, all right, I'm going to sacrifice this at the beginning of my upkeep, go get a demon, drop the demon on my main phase, and then that demon comes into play. So this comes back from my graveyard. So you kind of, graveyard shenanigans, repeatable tutor for some of your big nasty demons. If you're building a demon tribal commander deck, you kind of want to have this. Also works really good in the what's her name? Somebody say it down in the comment section below. It's the demon. It's the she's a cleric, and she summons angels, demon. If you attack with her, you can drop an angel, a demon, or a dragon from your hand tapped into play attacking. Which, if it's a demon if you're bringing that demon to hand and dropping it down to be tapped and attacking with her, that automatically brings this back. You haven't spent the mana, so you can recast this. So next turn, you're going to get ready to attack. You're going to be bringing another demon. You kind of want to play that. All right, Mercenaries. Boglighter with the Mercenary. It was the Rebels versus the Mercenaries in that time period. So it's kind of like, okay, we're doing this. So there's a way that you can shenanigan these, turn the word mercenary into sliver, and use those for tutors. It's kind of a complicated hoop to jump through, but you can make it happen if you're on a budget, because these things are cheap. Or you can just play the mercenary deck. Bogbrew Witch. Okay, so again, this is going for specific cards. There is a combo. If you've got the Witch, the Newt, and the Bubbling Cauldron, you can do a sack chain, kind of go infinite with them. If you want to play that, Festering Newt, Bubbling Cauldron, Witch shenanigans, then yeah, you play this. But I don't really see anybody playing that combo. Alright. Search the library for a goblin card. Ooh! See, it's this type of stuff. There is a bunch of red stuff where it's like lets you go get goblins or reveal top cards for goblins. A lot of people, when they're like, I'm going to build my goblin deck and I'm going to use the first Krinko mob boss. I'm going to use Krinko mob boss as my commander. And I'm going to make a ton of freaking goblins. Where I'm like, you shouldn't just play a mono red goblin deck because there's some fun stuff with the black goblins. This one letting you tutor. This one you can drop it and you can go get Krinko. Or a goblin matron, or a goblin ringleader, or a goblin recruiter. You get more toys to play if you're not monocolored. Monocolor decks, they're cool and stuff, but I feel like you can find more stuff to use, more tools. Some of the colors have different hard times interacting with certain types of cards, so they need to have. Yeah, you need another color in there just to be able to round out the deck, make it more consistent, and give it just a little, soften up its, shore up its weaknesses, get some better stuff, because a lot of the black stuff does, and like black is known as being like the whole like, all right, we're going to search our library for stuff. I mean, a lot of good tutors are in black, and yeah. Another aura. Search her up. Search it up, put it onto it. 7 drop. I mean, if you're looking for an extra creature in your auras deck, if you know that you're going to be facing a lot of board wipe control, you might play this. Just to be consistent, be like, okay, I got almost every creature you've got. If you got a bunch of creatures that have this ability, when they come in, you can go get a really bombing aura, put it onto it, start wrecking house. And it's cool. It happens. You play them. Just because it's like you're not just getting a 4/4 for 7, you're getting a 4/4 plus a free enchantment. And sometimes those enchantments could actually be enchantments that cost like 7 mana. So you're getting 14 mana worth of spells spread, for 7 mana cost. Borderline Ranger is another ramp spell. Actually, it's fixing because it puts in your hand. Another ramp spell. Another ramp spell. Another ramp spell. Oh, and fixing. Oh, Transmute. Transmute. We got to talk about Transmute. This is the first card with Transmute that's come up. Basically, Transmute, you pay the Transmute cost, which is this right here, and discard the card. Then you search your library for anything that has the same casting cost. So this would get you anything that costs 3 black. Destroy target creature that isn't enchanted, and it's alright for removal, but you're probably actually looking more for like, oh, I'm going to be able to tutor with 3 mana for one of my bomb 5 drops. Want to do that better. Oh, bribery. Bribery! It's a control magic, but basically instead of being like, oh, I'll take the best thing on the table, it's like, I'll take the best thing in your deck. If you know that you got somebody who's got like some bomb stuff like a Blightsteel Colossus and stuff like that, and you're just like, all right, pay 5, gonna go take your best creature, shuffle it up, it's mine now. All right, especially if you can give this like, if you can cast this at instant speed with Vidalcan Orrery or Leyline of Anticipation or anything else that will give like Sorcery's Flash, and you're just like, all right, end of your turn. Bribery, my turn. Oh, I got a Blightsteel Colossus, and you got one player that's sitting there. It's like, I have no blockers. You're like, that's right, die. Bribery, I think, goes in just about any blue deck because you can just, it's just so nasty. Okay, Bring to Light. A lot of people see Bring to Light and they look at the mana cost and go, it's a blue-green spell. It is not, because you're paying 5 mana to get a free, because if you're only playing a blue-white deck, and you're paying 5 mana in order to search your deck for a 2 or less drop to be able to get, it's not very that powerful. One of the good things about Commander is you can, if your lands can tap for any color mana, you can tap those lands for other colors. So having some multicolored fixing mana rocks, you know, stuff like Chromatic Lantern and stuff like that, to make this so you can actually cast it with 5 different colors of mana, makes it a lot more powerful. But still, Bring to Light, it's not bad. It's not bad. The more colors you have access to be able to do it with, especially if you're playing like Exotic Orchard and City of Brass, Mana Confluence, you know, any of these things that say tap, produce any color of mana, Bird of Paradise, you can get there. And especially because you're in green, with a lot of greens like tap this creature, create any color of mana, you should be able to get there to being like, all right, I'm going to cast Bring to Light for Wooburg. Cast it for the full Wooburg and get whatever you want. Bringer of the Black Dawn. Speaking of Wooburg, yes, this is a 9-drop, but it does have all 5 mana symbols, so you can cast this in any 5-color deck. So kind of Bring to Light and Bringer of the Black Dawn, the 2 of these are definitely creatures that you want to... these are creatures you want to have in the same deck, because basically, beginning of your upkeep, pay 2 life, search your library for a card, and shuffle your library and put it on top of it. That is basically a free demonic tutor every single turn. And especially in these 5-color decks, because it's got all 5 mana symbols, you have to play it in a 5-color deck. Can't just play it in a mono black deck, gotta be 5-color. Being able to demonic tutor every single upkeep, because it goes untap, upkeep, draw. Getting a free Vampiric Tutor right before your draw step is perfect. You'll always be like, oh, top card, right what I need every time I need it. 5-color decks definitely get one of these. Search your library for a creature card. Reveal. Yeah, Brutal Exarch. It's a... Either you can destroy... It's either spot removal for a non-creature permanent, because you're putting it on the bottom of their library, or it's a creature tutor card. You're just going to be like, oh, I need this, and you're going to go, and you're going to put it on top. As long as your opponent doesn't mill, or if you have a way to draw, if you can trigger a draw spell, you can just, oh, tutor it up. Okay, I'll activate this draw ability. Oh, now it's in my hand. We're good. All right, Buried Alive. We talked about graveyard shenanigan decks a little bit before. So basically, Buried Alive is for your... It's a tutor for your Reanimation deck. Basically, you're going to cast this for 3 mana. You're going to search your library, take your 3 best creatures that you want to have in your graveyard for your Reanimation spell you're going to cast either that turn or next turn. Maybe you got a bunch of ramp and you're doing this all on turn 1. You know, turn 1 having your best. Like, what would that be? It would be Swamp, Dark Ritual to get you up to 3 mana, Soul Ring to give you 2 colorless, 2 black, a Mana Crypt, to give you 2 more color. No, Mana Crypt or Mana Vault to give you more. You'd still have the 2 black. Be able to cast Buried Alive and animate. Yeah, if you have 2, 1, or 0 drop mana rocks, a Dark Ritual, and a black comes into play untapped land, Buried Alive, and a 2-drop Reanimation spell in your hand, guess what? You're comboing off on turn 1 with your reanimation deck, and you're probably going to make your opponents hate you, put a bullseye right on your forehead, and you know, call the herd to be able to kill you. So yeah. Call of the Gatewatch. This is actually a tutor spell that I think is underappreciated. Doesn't show up a lot because Planeswalkers are the best creature, are the best card type in Magic. In my personal opinion, it goes Planeswalker and anything that says tutor, and then anything that says graveyard. That's how cards are good in Magic. That aren't, you know, zero casting artifacts that tap for colored mana, or lands that come into play untapped and generate 2 different colors. Yeah, that's my 5 favorite cards in Magic. We'll be talking about all of those cards over the course of this. But Call the Gatewatch. It's a white tutor spell for Planeswalkers. You know, it doesn't put it into play, it just puts it into your hand. It is kind of risky because you're going to play this. You have to wait a turn because, you know, 3 mana. But if it's late in the game and you tutor it up and you've got, say you're getting a 3 mana Planeswalker and you got 6 mana, you can tutor it up, drop it into play, call it good. So turn 6, turn 7, you know, mid game, if you got a lot of crazy ramp effects, you've been dropping a lot of your white, green, X, and you've been ramping up, so you got 7 mana on turn 4, which can be done. You know, you can go get a 4-drop Planeswalker and put it into play. Pretty much, Call of the Gatewatch. I think if you're in white, you have a Planeswalker that's key to how your deck functions, do yourself a favor, get a Call of the Gatewatch. Captain Sisay. Captain Sisay is good because it lets you get legendary creatures. You can just tap it, search up whatever you want, put it in your hand, cast it. Lots of really good ETB legendaries or Anthem Effect legendaries. I've seen some people use Captain Sisay, use her straight as their commander in a green-white Legends Matter deck. Plenty of options for you to get legendaries that produce tokens, or legendaries that have Anthem effects, and then just go wide with all of those. And once you've gone wide, you just kind of like cast an overrun spell, and you're swinging for a bazillion as you run across with your army, and your opponent just goes, I can't block all of that. I guess we're all dead. Caravan Vigil. No, that's just a That's just a mana fixing / ramp spell. Search your lot. Yep, another mercenary tutor, mercenary tutor, mercenary tutor, mercenary tutor, mercenary tutor, mercenary tutor, mercenary tutor. I mean, yeah, if you're playing cool, play the mercenary deck and you'd have all your tutors. All of them have cool little abilities, or just, you know, more tutor effects. So yeah, you play the mercenary out. You know, play some shapeshifters in there. Be the Merc. Merc. Basically, that's a cool ramp spell. I'll have to come back and talk about that in ramp. Another one of the intro deck. I mean, it's 5 mana to do 2 damage to target player, each creature the player controls. There's a lot of these kind of effects that you can get for 3 mana. They're a lot better. Paying an extra 2 mana just to search up a mediocre Planeswalker. Yeah. Again, lots of these kind of effects you can get for cheaper. Sometimes even 3 mana cheaper if you want to do a white. Yeah, now I would rather play a Char, or if I'm red-white, I would rather play a Boros Charm over a Chandra's Outburst. But yeah, if you actually got the deck and you're like, oh no, I got this crazy plan around Chandra the Bold Power Mounts, it's going to be great. Okay, dude. I mean, yeah, isn't she the one that does 2, you get 2 mana and it does 2 damage to each opponent? there's a bunch of black-red stuff that's like spreads the hate around to everybody. So I don't know. You might be able to find yourself a fringe case to be able to play some of these kind of cards, but I'd still just be like, nah. All right, Chord of Calling. Oof. Oof. This is one of the best green creature tutors. You know, you pay, the X needs to be the creature's casting cost, and 3 extra green. Search your deck, get whatever you want. You can tap your creatures in order to make the mana to be able to cast this. So it turns like every single one of your creatures into like a Land of War Elf. Be like, it's instant speed, so you can do it at the end of opponent's turn. This is good. This is good. If you're playing like a big mana ramp deck, a big mana ramp green deck, and you know you want to get that key green fatty that just will end the game for you, like Craterhoof, or maybe you're green white and you want Elish Norn, maybe you just want, like, I don't know, whatever you want. It's a big, nasty finisher for your deck. Chord of Calling will go get it. It will also, you can use it if you're playing a little bit more controlling-wise. If you have a key green answer card to certain effects, or in my bears deck, I have a bear that has, whenever it has flash, so I can play it out of my hand if I want, or I could play it with a Chord of Calling if I get the mana available. When it comes into play, for every creature of mine that died that turn, I get a 2/2 bear. So Chord of Calling I do kind of save sometimes for that, or I save it for my Lieutenant that gives everybody else +2/+2 and trample. You just use it for getting those key creatures. Sometimes it's a key creature with a special ability. Maybe you need to get something that will come into play and destroy target artifact or enchantment. You know, that's green's kind of bread and butter. Maybe you want to go get something like an acidic slime. Yeah, that's cool. I will talk about Curious Root because every once in a while I find that guy who's like, I'm playing 5 color. I'm going to win with Maze's End. So, getting gate cards and putting them into the battlefield tapped, that deck is the actual time where I'll stop and I'll talk about, like, because this is just basic. This is just a ramp spell. But if you're playing Maze's End and you want gates, you're going to be tutoring to get those gates, because you only have 11 of them in your deck, and you need to get 10 into play as fast as you can. Citadel Flute. Pay X, search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle the library. Yeah. Just a, oh, Jeff's telling me they have Brawl decks at Walmart. Woohoo! Nice. Nice. Hey, Jeff, you're getting a shout out in the vid. Oh, thanks for the news. And the shuffle library. Yeah, no, it's a good, like, yeah, it's just like Chord of Calling. The only thing is you're probably going to activate the flute on an opponent's turn. So, at the end of their turn, just activate the flute, search up, get what you need, be able to drop it down, and just be like, oh, we got it. Oh, more land fixing. Yeah, the permanent of the best tab, then shuffle library. In Constructed, this would be cool. In Commander, none of the you can have multiple copies of this card are in these colors. Basically, what you're doing is you're going, I'm choosing this land, and this, I'm choosing this forest, and this plains, and this swamp, and this other forest, and I'm going to go take and search my deck for 5 You're basically like, I'll search my deck and I'll get 5 more lands for 7 mana and put them into play tapped. It's a horrible tutor spell. Somebody's going to be like, oh, I can make that work. Clever combo. It's another uncard. We're just going to skip over it. If you did build an uncard deck, this would be a key tutor spell for it. Clutch of the Undersea. I actually like this. 4 mana to return a permanent to its owner's hand and then make them lose 3 life. That's kind of nice. The Transmute to be able to go get same converted mana cost as this card. So that means I can get a 4-drop. It doesn't have to. That's right. It doesn't have to be the same thing. Paying 3 to go find a key 4-drop card. It's pretty good, man. You might want to play some Transmute, especially if you're blue-black. Conduit of Ruin. Yes. Search your library for a colorless creature card with convert back a 7 greater. Reveal it, shuffle your library, and put that card on top. The first creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. Alright, you're playing Eldrazi, or you're playing Artifacts, and you're playing the big nasty Artifacts creatures. Yeah, you want a Conduit of Ruin in your deck. Conflux. Search for a library for a white card, a blue card, a black card, a red card, and a green card. Reveal them, put them in your hand, then shuffle your library. Paying 8 mana to tutor up the 5 best cards in your deck. Remember, it doesn't have to be mono these colors. So you can get you can be like, I'll get this Boros card, this white red card will be my white card. This blue black card will be my black card. This black white card will be my black card. This red-green card will be my green card, and this other red-green card will be my red card. So you can kind of mix it up. It's kind of cool. Again, the 5 color decks kind of all want to have the ability to tutor because mana fixing is a big issue. Being able to get the key right cards that you need. So there's a big possibility where it's like you could actually be going to get like a like a dark ritual, a red ritual, a green mana bonds, a white. What would the white card be? The white card would be like. Oh. I don't know, there's like a way that you could actually storm out with this. Where you're like, I will be able to chain all of these and cast them all together. I don't know. There's got to be a way, like, somebody down below, like, what are the 5, like, if you're casting a Conflux, what are the 5 cards you're tutoring for in order to be able to cast them all and make it work after searching for them with the Conflux? Like, explain how that hand works. Concordant. Search your library for up to 3 creature cards, fill them, shuffle your library, and put those cards on top of it in any order. That's good. For 3 mana? Not bad. Tutor up your 3 best creatures you need to get in a row. Call it good. Yes. Corpse Connoisseur. This is another tutor card for the graveyard deck. There's battlefield. So you cast it, you tutor up, you put a creature in your graveyard, you unearth it, bring it back the next turn, get another creature card, put it in your graveyard. Yeah, it lets you basically over 2 cards get 2 creatures in the graveyards and have some fun with it. Coach Driver. Just yeah, if you're zombie tribal, this is your tutor spell because you go get a zombie and a swamp, and reel and put it in your hand, do shenanigans. Crop rotation. People would say this is a mana fixing card because it lets you sack a land, pay a green, sack a land, go search your deck for any land, and put it on the battlefield tab. So you're like, oh, I'll tap this forest for a green, sacrifice it, and I'll go get my dual land or my tri-land. And say go, or do this at the end of your turn with my forest. That's cool. You can use it as mana fixing. It is much better going to go and get a utility land. This is your Dark Depths, getting a key piece of Eldrazi Tron, getting a land, one of like the Tolarian Academy or Sarah's Senate or Cabal coffers lands that you tap and then they produce extra mana. You can get Gaia's Cradle. You can get Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. Going and getting like key lands, key powerful lands in your whole thing. Field of the Dead. Like I'm actually putting one of these in my land destruction deck, my land destruction massive ramp deck, just to be like, okay, crop rotation, get Field of the Dead into play, cast some, make a ton of mana, cast my land destruction spell, cast my land recursion spell, get all my lands come back into play, have like 10, 15 lands all enter the battlefield at the same time as the Field of the Dead. That gives me, because I got the field, because when the Field of the Dead came into play, I had the land, so I'm like, okay, so I got Field of the Dead, I got the zombie off of Field of the Dead, then I get 15 more zombies from this, then I can sacrifice the fetch lands, put like anywhere from like 1 to 4 or 5 more zombies into play. I got like 20 zombies in play off of just this one move, and then I can look at all my opponents and go, okay, everybody else, take your turns. I've got 40 zombies here ready to go. It's a fun deck. It's fun deck. So crop rotation is fixing, but it's also like if you have a key, like I said, if you have a key land you want, crop rotation is a tutor spell. Just because it says a land, it doesn't say basic. If it said basic, then I'd figure it more as if it says basic or has a card type or has a basic land type. That is fixing. If it lets you get any utility land, that is a tutor. Speaking of tutor, Cruel Tutor. This one's from Portal, which means it's sorcery speed. And search your library for a card, then shuffle your library and put it on top. You lose 2 life. It's a slow, poor man's vampiric tutor. Still, if you build your deck right with synergies where you're going to cast this and you have an activated ability to draw a card, guess what? It becomes better. Just because there, with some mill effects always floating around whenever you're playing Commander, somebody's always going to have something where they can like do something to the top of your deck. You always want to have that in there somewhere. It's just be able to little top deck manipulation, just to ruin the tutors. So you always want to have some way of getting that into your hand. You want to get to the top of the deck and then into your hand. Curse of Misfortunes. Oh, the win condition for Mardu Curses is to get this on somebody and then sit back and just watch as slowly every curse from your deck just starts coming into play, getting attached to them, and they just can't do anything. Like you get the right curse to shut down what they're doing at that point, and then you get another curse that makes that even worse, and then they start losing life from the curses, and then they start taking double damage from the curses, and it just becomes nasty. Dark Petition. Hey, it's better. I think this is actually better in Commander because normally in Commander when you're about ready to cast a 5-drop, you should have Spellmaster. You should have like 2 or more instants of sorceries in your graveyard. Being able to pay 5, search your library for any card, put it in your hand, and then you get 3 black mana back. So you can be like, I will cast this, and I'll search up my, especially if you're in a Reanimator deck, you can be like, I'll cast this, I'll search up, I'll get my Reanimation spell that costs, 3 black mana. You could chain this into a Beseech the Queen to be able to get, like you could chain it into a Beseech the Queen if you're trying to do like a Storm deck, or chain it into a more mana. It'd be kind of cool. Like I should actually think about that for my Storm deck. Just building like the whole fact of like, make it so Dark Petition costs just black, and then it's like I search for any card, and then I'm up a mana. Because you can make this reduce a lot better. I gotta think about that. I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna put that on the notes on the board. Sign of Darkness. Another one of these ones. I really don't like the whole like go for named card. And this one goes and gets another, but doesn't have the whole you can have many copies you want in your deck, so it sucks. All right, that's a mana. That's mana ramp because it gets you land. Search your library for equipment or vehicle card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle your library. That's kind of nice. You know, it enters the battlefield and it lets you go get equipment, vehicles. So you can go get a sword or a smuggler's copter. Of course, those are the best ones. Get them into play. You know, get them into your hand, then get them into play. Yeah, I play that in a blue aggro deck or a heck. Actually, I play that in Emery because Emery likes artifacts. Emery could use a smuggler's copter and some swords and a Deadeye Quartermaster to go tutor those out. That's a ramp spell. That's a ramp spell. That's a win condition. Alright, Defense of the Heart. This is actually a combo. Alright, so you play in a controlling style deck where you're like, I'm not going to have any creatures. And you get it out. You know, you cast like some of the better tutor spells, and you get that sucker into play on like turn 2, turn 3. I know I'm kind of like goldfishing here, but you get this out probably turn 3. Turn 4, you're able to go, and the 2 creatures you want to get. Oh wait, no, prime time is banned. Oh, prime time is banned. I forgot it's banned in Commander. But no, you go. Oh, I know what you do. You tutor those up. You get an Eldrazi that's not Emrakul, because Emrakul's bad. But you get one of the other big Eldrazi's, and you get a creature that gives it haste, and then you just look at your opponents and you giggle. Destroy all your stuff. Okay. Destroy all your stuff. And especially if like somebody's like, I've got like, especially if you like leave that one person that's got the more creatures than you, so they're like, we gotta build up our defenses, pull a bunch of creatures out, and the next turn you're getting like 2 more Eldrazi's with Annihilator, and you already got the haste dude, so you're like, aha, aha, aha. Or you're getting big, powerful, stupid enters the battlefield stuff. Defense of the Heart, that's pretty nasty. That's a pretty nasty one right there. Oh, even getting Verdant Force and Elish Norn, because every turn Verdant Force poops out a Saproling, and then Elish Norn makes some 3/3s. So you're like, you know, beginning of every upkeep, so your opponent's upkeep, then your other opponent's upkeep, and by the time it comes around to you, you got 4 3/3s. Yeah, Defense of the Heart's pretty good. Alright, another Rebel Searcher. The Rebel Scum. Another Rebel Scum. Oh, supply. Search your library for a multicolored card, put in your hand, and shuffle library. That's pretty good. 3-drop tutor gets you any multicolor card. I'd play it. Ooh, Demonic Constellation. I love this one. Alright, so buyback is discard 2 cards. So if you're playing the deck right and you have card advantage and you're drawing a bunch of cards every turn, you'll have like 2 lands to discard when you cast this. So you pay 5 mana, discard 2 extra lands you don't need, search your library for any card, then put it in your hand. And the next turn, you've got cards to discard, so you can discard, you can cast this again, later on, get more stuff that you need. Awesome. But the best tutor in all of Magic, the one that started, it's the reason why we call these effects tutor, Demonic Tutor. 1 in a black, search your library for any card, put it in your hand, shuffle your library, just go get whatever you need for 2 mana, and call it a day. Best opening hand I could ever think of is an untapped black mana source, a Soul Ring, and a demonic tutor, and a dark ritual. You're just like swamp, tap, dark ritual. Use one for Soul Ring. Use the other two for demonic tutor. And a signet, so you can drop the signet for 2 mana. And at that point, you're like, I'll just go search my deck for what I need, and everybody's gonna die. So yeah, no, that's good. Again, Prince of Thralls. You're just gonna play him as your commander anyway, so why not? Meh. All right, Demonic Intent was them attempting to redo Demonic Tutor. Diabolic Intent was to redo Demonic Tutor. And he just had to sacrifice a creature as well. Yeah, black is... You find ways to create tokens that you can just sacrifice to this thing. Or you'll have an ETB creature that you're like, okay, I've already got an ETB trigger out of it. I can sack it. It's just as good as this, as long as you got ways to make a bunch of tokens. Demonic Revelation. This would be in the... This would go in the Storm... This would definitely go in the Storm deck, where I can make this cost less. Because let's see, I can use the black medallion to make it cost 1 generic less. There is Brawl and Goblin Engineer. Goblin... Oh, it's Goblin something. It's the Goblin Electromancer. That makes the instant sorcerers cost 1 less. So I can make this cost X black, and then just basically be like Demonic Revelation, search up, get all the stuff. Hopefully have a red or a black mana or a 0 cost mana rock that taps the sex for any color. Damn! Yeah, that's I could see that being in the Storm deck. Being in any other deck, it sucks because you need to have like the ability to just be like, if you're paying 6 mana to get 1 card, that sucks. But if you're paying 5 mana to get 3 cards that are part of your combo and let you keep going, that's a lot better. So if you're going to use this one, you're going to have to build around a way to make that casting cost dirt cheap. Diabolical Tutor, the poor man's demonic. Just, it costs 2 more mana. It's, yeah. Listen, if you can't afford to buy some of the other, like, really good tutors, and you're playing black, until you can afford to get upgrade and get a better tutor, yeah, might as well play a Diabolic. You might as well. Dichotomy. Each tap non-land permanent target opponent controls. Search that player's library for a card with the same name as a permanent. Put those cards on the battlefield. Or shuffles the library. Non-land permanent. Yeah, now, Commander, this is junk. This is junk. I mean, you're basically paying 9 mana, or you're paying 3 mana and waiting 4 turns, because it's the turn you suspend it, and then the other 3 turns after that. 4 turns. It's not just 3 turns, it's 4 turns. Just to get... what? A Relentless Rat? A Shadowborn Apostle? A Rat Colony? A 7th Dwarf? Nah, this is utter crap. Don't even think about it. Just move it on. And, of course, the last card's a ramp card that we're not going to talk about. But that is Tutor Spells Part 1. I don't want to make this be too long, but this is going to be part 1 in the series. We're going to go through each page. And hopefully, yeah, that's it for today's video. Join me tomorrow when I come back and go through page 2 of Tutors. And depending on how fast we get through that one, we might get a couple pages. It all depends on like how fast, because there really is a lot of like, oh yeah, there's search for your library for land cards, because I forgot to tell it to not say land. Well, yeah. Well, there's some, as long as it doesn't say basic land. But anyways, I'm rambling. I just want to thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening. So hit that like. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Do all those things that make YouTube go, hey, look, this person is not just talking to robots. He's actually got something interesting to say. So hit those things down below. And just, again, thank you for your time. Yep. Thank you. Bless you. May the force be with you. I'm out. Peace.